Iran invented banking, the postal service, and commercial trade routes. Then they had their oil stolen, then they tried to take it back, then their government was overthrown, then they had a revolution, then they were sanctioned, then they sold in secret to China, then they were bombed. That's the history of Iran, and it's a story about money. Friends, I'm going to give you the history of Iran in 3 minutes, so hang on tight from the very beginning, from the start, and I'll prove to you that every part of this story is about money and that religion has less to do with it than you think. The Persian Empire was the largest empire in history at that time. Cyrus the Great, the Jeff Bezos of antiquity, controlled a territory stretching from Egypt to India, 44% of the world's population. And Cyrus did something that no one had done before. He created a system, the Royal Road, 2,700 kilometers of trade routes with postal relays. It was the first supply chain network in history. That's why I say he's Jeff Bezos. Iran was Amazon in sandals. The Persians also invented a centralized taxation system. Imperial inspectors and express mail, the post office. Not for glory, but for commerce. The Persian Empire wasn't a military empire, it was a commercial one, friends. First Iranian lesson, whoever controls the roads, controls the money. Chapter 2, the theft, 1908, friends. I'm jumping ahead 2,500 years. May 28, 1908, an Englishman named William Knox Darcy, the pickpocket of the Middle East, struck oil at Masjid-e-Soliman in southwestern Iran. It's the first discovery of oil in the Middle East, friends. The geyser was 15 meters high. The following year, he created the Anglo-Persian Oil Company. In 1914, Winston Churchill convinced the British government to buy 51% of the company for £2 million. Why? Because the Royal Navy was switching from coal to diesel, and Churchill needed oil to win the war. As a result, for 40 years, the British pumped Iranian oil. They built the world's largest refinery in Abadan. And they paid Iran a pittance, of course. Iran received 16% of the royalties. It was a robbery. And do you know what the Anglo-Persian Oil Company is called now? It's called BP, British Petroleum. You know that green logo they changed? Actually, it's stolen Iranian oil. Stolen. And there you go. Chapter 3, The Attempt, 1951, 1953. In 1951, a man rises up, Mohammad Mossadegh. He's like the Che Guevara of oil, if you will. He becomes the democratically elected prime minister in Iran. And he does something no one dared to do. He nationalizes Iranian oil. He tells the British, fuck off, it's our oil, get out. Parliament votes for this nationalization. The people are ecstatic, they're super happy, and that's it. Iran takes back control of its wealth. The West's response, Great Britain launches an embargo on Iran. No one buys Iran's oil, and Iran's economy collapses. And in August 1953, the CIA launches Operation Ajax. Ajax. They pay protesters, they buy journalists, they bribe the military, and they overthrow Mossadegh. The democratically elected prime minister is thrown in jail. The Shah returns to power. He's reinstated by the Americans. And the Shah, in gratitude, gives 40% of the oil wells to America. The CIA overthrew a democracy for oil. Chapter 4, The Revenge, 1979. So the Shah reigns for 25 years. A US ally, incredibly wealthy, his secret police tortures Iranians. And Iran is rich, but the people are starving, they're not so rich. 1979, the Islamic Revolution, friends. Khomeini returns from exile and overthrows the Shah. Students take the American embassy hostage. 444 days. The world is in shock. But here's what no one explains. It's that 1979 is the direct consequence of 1953. You overthrow a democracy, you install a dictator. And 26 years later, well, yeah, people take revenge. And not with a vote, with a revolution. And it's this revolution that the United States is bombing today. In 1979, a barrel of oil goes from $14 to $40 in a few months. It's the second oil crisis. Recession, global inflation. Your grandmother's economy in 1979 was impacted by the 1953 coup. Everything is connected, everything is finance, everything is geopolitics, friends. Chapter 5, The Isolation, 1980 until 2025. 1980, Saddam Hussein, you know what I call him? The Stalin of the desert. Funded by the US, invades Iran. 8 years of war, 1 million dead. Go watch my video on the Gulf Wars. The West sells weapons to both sides. Business is business. After the war, Iran becomes a nuclear pariah. Sanctions. Cut off from SWIFT, cut off from everyone. What does Iran do? It creates a parallel economy. Go watch my video on shadow tankers, all the oil stuff and so on. Go watch all my videos. And China buys 90% of Iranian oil. Go watch my videos on China and Iran too. Chapter 6, the bombing. We've reached the present. Khamenei is dead, he's dead. The USA and Israel are allied together. The Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the world's oil is threatened. Brent crude explodes by 14%. And it's been the same movie for 3,000 years, kids. Cyrus controlled the Royal Road, the British controlled the oil fields, the USA controls the dollar and SWIFT, China controls the shadow fleet of oil tankers. And Iran for 3,000 years has sat on resources and fought to keep them